Emergency certainly is a landmark. There are other landmarks, I'm sure, some momentous events in this journey of 75 years for India. What else do you recall other than the emergency? Is there something else that is, you know, striking and that defines?
See, the other thing that is striking is the 84. And I'm speaking from someone who is Delhi-based. So I watched that. Again, so for me, as the child of the partition, I see that as a big shock. That you are actually, but by then I was, you know, teaching happily in college.
You worked a lot in the camps, so, and you wrote also on
so this. That book actually that Nandita and I did, edited, it came as a consequence of us. Why did we, in fact we were challenged for saying why did we call it Delhi riots, we should have said genocide or pogrom, but it was 3 days in the life of a nation. That's how, because both of us actually were responding to what is the nation if it is turning on its own people and killing them, you know, in this. So that was the first dramatic big riot. It's not that the riots hadn't happened before, and the Muslims had been targeted in Jabalpur and other places and so on, but this was happening right there under the nose in the capital, and the complicity of the state was very clear. So that combination was deadly in terms of understanding the nature of the anti-democratic moment in which
the character of the state.
Absolutely. It can be, because it's like, you know, it has the capacity to turn on sections of its own people for its own gain.
And ferociously.
No, I mean, there are thousands of people who died, and then the sense of betrayal, because in case after case that we documented, especially when it was, you know, many of the Sardars had actually had the experience of the partition. So they said, वहाँ हमको कुछ नहीं हुआ, अपने ही वतन में हमको मारा. So it was like the great betrayal, that is, you were being killed in your own country, and that was a huge betrayal as far as they were concerned. But in a sense, it's important for us to recognize that if the impunity of the is allowed to go unchallenged, as happened in the case of 84, then it becomes a model for the future. And
which has happened.
It did happen. And there's a famous statement made by George Fernandez in the, it had to be excised from the parliament records, the Lok Sabha record.
What did he say?
Where he said, what's new about the rapes? I mean, they happened at different, so it was like, if 84 happened and there was no accountability, then 92 mein kya, you know, then it's a model ban gaya na, and now it's a trading.
It has become a pattern.
I would still say that up to even 2002, when Gujarat happens, we were upset at the fact that they were saying 84 happened, so who are you to speak? But there were enough people in society to actually get up and say that, look, what has happened is terrible. Okay, so at the end of the day, you cannot justify, and hardly anyone justified it. So in a sense,
except
the blatancy, well, they pretended that they had nothing to do with it. Okay,
which it always does.
Which of course it does. But the fact is that it was not. You didn't have what has now happened post 2002, and increasingly since the new regimes have come into place, is that actually you are now the letting loose the street goons or street power. And actually you did that from the time street power was already.
The state, you mean, is letting loose.
The new state allows street power to successfully execute itself.